On a mission to enhance economic development in Jamaica, PNP Chief of Staff Imani Duncan-Price is here, and she's going to talk to us about the Eisenhower Fellowship. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Smile Jamaica. It's morning time. 7 weeks sounds like a lot. Talk to me about this fellowship and the purpose, the objective. Yeah.
Okay, so the actual fellowship in the 7 weeks, I went to 13 cities across the US, emerging cities that had really kind of come from the doldrums into being more thriving areas in America. 61 meetings with different leaders in private sector, public sector, NGOs, looking at entrepreneurship, looking at the music industry, how to create an industry, how to look at all the supply chains, looking at the logistics economy, looking at the sports economy. And I chose those areas to focus on because I felt that Jamaica, we've kind of been stuck in a low growth trap, it's called, right? Mm-hmm. Most of our jobs are low wage jobs. And it's not sustainable. It's just not right. And so there have been places in the world that have actually moved forward, found ways to actually up the capacity, up the abilities, and move to the next level of growth. And coupled with the fact that because the world is also automating, there's also the advent of artificial intelligence, and that's going to take away the low-wage jobs because they're typically low skill as well. I said we have to get serious about our new economy. Like, how are we going to actually transition from the current economy to a new economy, and what could we use as a basis to move forward? And before I left, when I applied to the fellowship, I said that music, we had successes, global successes, without having a full industry, you know, a proper, thorough industry. And sports, global. And those two things are going to last for a while, even with automation and AI, you know? And so if we actually were able to understand how to build a proper cluster, a proper, thorough industry of collaboration, how to use capital, how to build wider capabilities, what could happen for a country? And so that was the focus of the actual fellowship, to understand how certain places like Nashville and Indianapolis and other such cities actually transformed.
So when you went on that 7-week tour and you had those 61 meetings and you were done and you sat and you thought about what was going on at home, how huge is the gap that we need to fill?
Every night after the meetings, I sat and thought about the gap at home because I wanted to make sure that the fellowship the results didn't remain in a piece of paper on a shelf. You know, I've seen it happen so many times, and so I kept thinking, what could we actually do? Not only share the lessons learned, let's say like a new economy action plan with different stakeholders in society, private sector associations, obviously my own party as well as the government. I mean, the idea is that we have to share the ideas, but also what could I do to almost help to model in our country that we can actually transition effectively to a new economy. And what I found, you know, like it kind of came to me one night in the airport, actually. I was waiting for Stephen. He came to visit me. Yay! And that's my husband, by the way.
Yes, so if it weren't, we'd have a problem because your husband would have been
there. He is.
There he is.
So he actually came, and I was at the airport waiting on him, and it dawned on me, like, the commonality amongst all these cities, the different industries came to me as 4 C's. One was collaboration, one was capabilities, the other was commitment, the other was capital. And when I say capital, I mean a kind of patient capital that actually invested for development of the city. You had in every city, like, these very rich, successful companies, families who invested, not for like a quick return, but to actually build capacity, music programs, art programs, because it made the city fun, vibrant, attractive to talent to come back and move back to the place itself, and also created other types of jobs. Commitment, beyond a 5-year political cycle. Like really saying, no, we have to get serious. If we, in fact, you know, really, I think, move beyond just the partisanship. You know, not that we can't compete as parties, but the partisanship that limits continuity of policies, that limits how people work together, then we could actually have a result that lasts longer.
What do you think when you hear this? Because this is something...
You've been talking about it? It's your thing.
Music and sport.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But it's the thing.
Music
as
and
a
sport
vibrancy to
as
it.
pillars of development.
But what I'm hearing from Imani as well.
And you make money, you know, it's a business, you know. It's not
so
about
this is where I'm heading. This is where I'm heading.
Oh, it feels nice.
But this is where I'm heading, because a lot of people don't realize that America probably doesn't even have a cultural policy. But what happens is that there is ownership, and that the corporates believe that this can be something that's economically viable, and they invest in it, and they build in it. Is that serious? Is that the major problem here in Jamaica, that we keep depending on government to take on the business of music and the business of the arts?
They can certainly set a framework that can encourage, but we have to actually look at how we invest in it for return. Because also what I found was that, can you imagine? I'm talking with all these different like festival organizers like Live Nation and Another Planet, and they're saying to me, we can't find reggae artists. Like, who are the new up-and-coming people? There's no structure to actually discover talent by big players in the industry. And that's how people make money on the music industry, through performances. When a professor at Vanderbilt Music School said to me, you know, you've been in Nashville, Imani, what do you see? And I said, there's a vibrancy here. I mean, every night, just all across the city, different people. And by the way, it's not even country music, you know, it's like bluegrass, it's blues, it's hip-hop, it's all types of music. But he says, the thing is, Nashville has over 3,000 performance spaces, small, medium, large, but it allows the artist to hone the skill of performance. He says you can't learn to perform in a book.
I was listening
You have to have practice, and that's how when they practice, they can get better and earn money.
Listening to Beyond the Headlines yesterday, Dion did a segment on entertainers who are crying foul, asking the hotels, what about us?
Yeah.
Because they're kind of being replaced with foreign talent. And then I look at Kingston, and I get the feeling that Kingston is getting somewhere, because I see like we're putting up this downtown, and then I look at Edna and what Edna is doing for some of the redevelopment of Kingston. I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. And then I hear that story yesterday, and I'm like, okay, what's going on?
There's a disconnect. So the thing is, it's what I'm hoping is that we can utilize almost like a major project or a program or initiative with the music industry and different stakeholders to do a couple things. One, we want to establish more music equity, education and equity in schools. There is a thing called Music West. It's an app where you can learn about bass and rhythm, and because most of our schools, as you know, they play the recorder. That's not a great way to learn music, by the way. Not in a real way to build beats and a kind of vibe and a sound. And so what this app has been developed by different professors in music, the Vanderbilt School of Music, with about, I think, over 200 different types of lessons. And we have a partnership with the person who created it, as well as I met him in Colorado Springs, and then looking at another Eisenhower fellow who works at HP to donate just a certain amount of tablets, and I hope to apply to Flow or other places for support on Wi-Fi in the school, so we can get that going, so we can see who has a talent and the aptitude for it, so more people are exposed to it, and get kind of quality kind of training. And then we also, hopefully, if we get more people who are not just the DJs, but the composers, the producers, add kind of like a richness to the sound, we can also improve our product. That's part of our problem, is the product itself.
I can hear Grub Cooper, Frankie Campbell, and all of them looking at the screen now, and Jaria, and all of them saying, well, you know what, we've been saying this, we've been saying
and
this.
And they're right.
And so I'm glad you're here endorsing what they've been saying. We've said there must be a curriculum in schools to teach children about reggae music. I mean, you teach them how to play music.
And then, but out of our culture, or reggae music.
Of reggae and what it is. But I'm glad.
And so my hope is that if we can all work together in the industry, also kind of fill that gap, but also, you know, Delia, talent discovery. We need to find a way to create like a cultural moment for music where people had this vision, right, of made in Jamaica.
The music museum for...
Well, no, not even like first. That would come out of the money. But made in Jamaica. Do you know how many songs are not even reggae, but made in Jamaica in studios?
I want to say...
So come and produce here.
I want to say...
You want to say...
That the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission...
Yes, ma'am.
...has a mandate...
Yes.
...to unearth, develop, and showcase talent. And in former years, discovered the likes of Tony Rebel, Lieutenant Stitchy. So maybe, I'm saying this to say that we have the structures, but they've lost their way over the years.
Yes.
Some of it. JCDC,
Some of it.
I know, needs resources.
Right.
They try. So I'm supporting what you're saying, and I'm saying maybe what needs to happen.
Enliven the structures.
What the structures are.
What was missing.
Because JCDC needs some help. They need help.
And this is where you have the partnership and collaboration. It's important to say, how do we invest? And not just corporate Jamaica, but corporates abroad.
Yeah.
You know, think about the world differently. You know, there's so much available. And to me, it's about being in solution mode.
I'm glad
to move it forward. If we can do it with the music, I think we can model that it's possible to transition other areas using a similar approach. That's the point.
We're excited. We're excited.
We have to do it, okay?
We're excited. We're looking on now. Take that paper and make it a practical plan. Happy to have you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
PNP Chief of Staff Amanda Duncan Price. Did I see you dropping legs at Calabash?
Of course.
I sure did. Lots more to come. But first,
yeah, that's another success story.
News in 5, yes.
Yeah.
Soon come.
Yeah, they said Jamaica.